Joseph Ernest Martin.
And I'm Marcus Thorndike.
And this is Paranormal Insights, where we bring you the latest and best from the metaphysical world.
Here you'll get real tools and insights to your questions as we bring you answers from beyond the ordinary.
Marcus is a master hand analyst and life purpose consultant. He is the author of the upcoming new book, Leap, the global campaign for life, love, and the achievement of happiness for all.
Joseph is an award-winning psychic of over 25 years and is the author of the international bestseller, The Quest to Row. He's a recipient of the Visionary Award of Excellence.
Well, in our solar system, it seems that, like Pluto's a planet, it's not a planet. We have Nibiru or Planet X, and it's coming or it's not coming. And, the ancients themselves, they really did consider the sun a whole, living entity, basically, also. So going back into ancient texts can be kind of difficult to try to figure out what was really being understood at that time.
Oh, definitely. The whole nature of what ancients thought about planets and stars. Did they know them that they were really stars, or were they gods? There's a real question about all of that in not just the Sumerian culture, but also Egyptian and other ancient civilizations.
Absolutely. And the Sumerian culture themselves have been known for having these clay strips that show not only the sun, but the planets orbiting the sun. Now, there's only so many planets that you can observe from Earth with the naked eye, and past that, you need like a telescope or an instrument to see further. And the Sumerian culture, in their own tablets, actually show other planets, including Pluto, which they considered a planet at that time.
Well, I would say that is debatable. That when you're looking at those tablets, when I was doing my research in this, what I saw that it was like, well, did they say there were planets? Or are those indicating something else? The researchers, what I saw was that it was like, we don't know. But the truth is we don't know.
The planet Nibiru, or Planet X, is said to be 4 to 8 times the size of the Earth. For us, that's big. And MSNBC and NBC News published an article entitled, "Large Planet X May Lurk Beyond Pluto." In this article, they go on to say that thanks to a new computer model of our solar system, another large planet may answer the questions to why our observable part of the universe acts the way it does. Laikaka and Kobe University colleague Tadashi Mukaya detailed their findings in a recent issue of Astrophysical Journal. Though they say at this time what they found may technically not actually be a planet. Will science show us that the ancients were right about this hidden planet? Keep looking through the journals and newspapers, because not too long from now, we will be welcoming another planet to our little place in this universe.
We don't know. What did they think?
Yes, and I actually kind of like to think myself that some of the ancient cultures maybe had a few things going on that we still have yet to learn and understand. The Sumerians seem to have been a very advanced culture in and of themselves. However, there is still a lot of mystery surrounding them. Now, if you're interested in the Sumerian culture, I actually would recommend looking at Zecharia Sitchin's books. He's written many, many books and is considered possibly the greatest historian for that culture's research that's currently alive. He spent his whole life researching them specifically because of the anomalies he felt he found in his research.
Interesting. Wow. I have only glimpsed and looked at his books briefly, and also mostly looked at other people's analysis of his books. So I'll have to try that out for sure. More broadly, though, I wonder whether, I always often wonder with ancient cultures, whether they have been visited by other alien races who might have contributed to their advanced state of being. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it is very much up for speculation, that is for sure.
Well, and of course we know that the History Channel has made their career with the series Ancient Aliens, and they put out a lot of speculation on what things can possibly mean.
Just because a possible planet was discovered at the edge of our solar system does not automatically confirm Sitchin's theory, or any other such theories about Nibiru or Planet X. let's look at what other people who have spent a great deal of time proclaiming not only the existence of Planet X, but emphasizing our impending doom because of it. Nancy Lieder is what she calls a contactee with extraterrestrials from the Zeta Reticuli star system via a brain implant. In 1995, Lieder claims she was selected to warn society about an object coming into the inner solar system on May 27, 2003, that would cause the Earth to have a polar shift, stop the Earth's rotation for 3 days, and destroy most of those who inhabit the Earth. Others later modified her date for Nibiru's close pass of Earth to December 21, 2012. More recently, some say Nibiru will pass Earth in August of this very year. Better get out your survival gear, everyone. There are other competing claims that Nibiru collided with Earth millions of years ago, and the result was the Great Flood that was recorded in Genesis. Andy Lloyd, author of the book Dark Star, speculates that Nibiru was the Star of Bethlehem 2,000 years ago. Lloyd believes that Nibiru will appear again 50 generations from now. Astronomers have made great strides in understanding the nature of planetary orbits just within the last 10 years. We now know that long ago the Earth did collide with another planet. But this was around 4.5 billion years ago, not millions of years ago, when the solar system was forming, and that the spectacular collision created not the oceans, but instead our moon. Most astronomers now believe that a planet, such as Sitchin and Lieder describe, simply cannot have an orbit that takes it into the inner planetary system more than once or twice before such a planet would either be ejected entirely from our solar system or else would be sent into a stable orbit inside that of Neptune, where we would easily see it. There is also nearly undeniable evidence that other planets cannot stop the Earth's rotation simply by passing it by. Doing so would violate the laws of physics. Finally, I am pleased to announce that we already know about a 12th planet, which is the dwarf planet Eris. Eris is an object out beyond Pluto that was discovered first on January 5, 2005, from images taken in 2003. Eris is estimated to be the size of Pluto or even larger, but there is little evidence to suggest that it will come into the interplanetary system in some sort of elliptical orbit as theorized by Sitchin.
Now, I have to admit, here I am, I'm a psychic and I'm involved with all these things that are considered kind of magical or esoteric. And my own life experiences, I've experienced really magical and esoteric kind of things. Though even when I watch Ancient Aliens, I still have a scientific mind. I still got that degree from the university. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I think, they're stretching this a little bit far.
Where there are symbologies that we now are using scientifically. And there they are describing the very nature of how the universe works. And it's built into the tablets. What is the original definition or context of the word Nibiru? When scholars research the word Nibiru in written texts, the context of the word repeatedly refers to an idea of crossing point, or crossing marker. In a small number of references, the word also referred to an astronomical body. As Sitchin and other scholars have noted, ancient civilizations often believed that the stars and planets were gods in the sky. Therefore, in the context of ancient writings, it is possible that Nibiru referred to both a god and a planet. In some ancient texts, Nibiru was believed to be the planet Jupiter, and on one text it refers to it as the planet Mercury. Because there are conflicting ancient texts, scholars of this concept cannot determine with certainty the precise meaning of Nibiru.
Then the Earth will be easily seen by the naked eye as it approaches, and once it gets close enough, new satellites have since been launched, and recently the SIRTIF satellite, which is Space Infrared Telescope Facility Satellite, which has a fine-tuned sensor to see infrared light from super cold to super hot temperatures and, more importantly, pierce through the dense dust clouds to see beyond which currently blocks our view. SIRTIF was recently renamed to Spitzer, and NASA has control of the information that will be released. NASA, however, is often called never a straight answer. So, in this age of information, we will see the finding of a 12th planet, or if you prefer, a 10th planet. I believe the answer will be yes. More and more news releases state that evidence is suggesting that there is another large body or planet that may belong to our little solar system. And just because something did happen in the past, like a collision with Earth that may have created our moon, which orbits us now, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to have a collision again in the future, or that the return of a 12th planet or 10th planet, depending on how you look at things, would actually be apocalyptic.
Right.
It could have a whole different orbit, because we are still understanding with huge complex computer models the orbits and how they interact with each other, which is incredibly complex.
Well, and another thing that most...
And now Cindy Grayson takes us to Stockton, California, and Isreal Hurtado, who's a gifted healer and psychic.
We're here at the New Earth Expo in Stockton, California, and I am with Isreal Hurtado. Hi, Isreal.
Hi, how are you, Cindy?
I'm doing great. Thank you for doing this interview. Isreal and I know each other in passing. We do a lot of these expos together, and I'm getting to know this wonderful soul. And he has a great story. Isreal is a psychic, medium, clairvoyant channel. He's good at doing all of these things. But what I want to start out with, let's start with the beginning. You were not born in this country. You were born in a small village. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was born in a small village in the west of Mexico. It's like 1,000 people, you know, where everybody knows each other. They can hear you, the neighbor, like, they can hear you talking on the phone. So, yeah, it's a very small town there. And I used to have this feeling before, like, I want to learn English. It was like this desire for me. I think that was the whole beginning. At that point, I didn't know what was the reason for. So now that I am more involved into all this spiritual journey that I am, so I know the reason, because a book came in through that. So that was the purpose of that.
So you weren't conscious of your spiritual gifts till about 6 years ago, but before that, you were saying that as a young child, around 6, 7, 8 years old, you realized you were working with people to help them heal.
Yes, now I realize that, particularly this lady, that she was my neighbor, and she always stopped to talk to me, because in Mexico you can sit there on the sidewalks, and she used to stop there and start telling me all her stories, because her children emigrated to the United States, so she was left by herself, and she used like find like comfort with me, and she was like, oh, I can hear the pain. At that moment I didn't know what it was, so I was just listening to her, and then she just get up and walk like nothing happened. Like, now I see what it was. I was being a vessel for her to release her pain.
So you were a great servant without being aware of it.
Exactly.
Okay, and then you've been here in this country, you said 12 years?
12 years.
12 years, and your English is great for 12 years,
Oh, thank
let me
you.
tell you. And you started out in construction. That didn't work out. You went for training for massage therapy,
Yes,
and you had a booth in an open market.
exactly. So what happened is, like, I go to the flea market to do my massage, and this lady come to me and say, I've been praying to God to find someone to heal me, and I just go like, whoa, okay. So then I say, okay, please lay down on the table. So she lay down on the table, and I just allow the spirit, the divine, to come through. So I start doing massage on her and some energy work. So she finally gets up, and I explain, I talk to her, okay, this is what I received, this is the information that I got. So she say, okay, I feel good, and that makes sense what I said. So she left. A week later, she came and said to me, for 10 years, I've been experiencing this pain. So you here in 20 minutes or half an hour is like gone. So I've been seeing doctors, chiropractics, and all this, and my pain wasn't never gone, and now it's gone. And I was like, wow. So that's one of the strongest stories that I field that is being touching my heart.
And what's great is that you know it's not your abilities, but you are channeling God's healing energy working with people. So, which is a great quality to see in healers and psychics and mediums. And people can now have appointments with you, but you've written a book.
Yes, and I have some amazing stories and experiences with this book, like that I go, wow. So like the first time, it was the proof of the book. So this friend of mine that she just started flipping on the book, but she didn't know that I wrote a book. She probably wouldn't think about like, okay, he didn't write a book, and then she said like, oh, you have a sticky notes here, and I go, yes, I do have a sticky notes here. Are you taking a workshop? And I go, no, I might do a workshop on that. Oh, she goes like, oh, did you write the book? Yes, I did. Well, I did now. I just allowed the channel to come through. So then she keeps flipping and flipping, and then finally she put the book back down on the desk, and she comes to me and she grabs my arm, and she said like, Phil, my hands get so hot. And yeah, certainly they were hot, and like just by flipping the book, she said like, whoa, that's the spirit, whoa, because I used to do things and I allow the spirit to come through. I don't expect anything. I just do everything with compassion and love and kindness, and the result is up to God.
And you work a lot with forgiveness and
Yes.
changing the energy.
Yes, and that's what this book is about, is forgiveness, guidance, and inner strength. Because like every healer, and even Jesus and Buddha and many other healers before us, they said forgiveness is the first step for healing. So we have to let go all that thing that is holding us in order to connect with our true self.
Fantastic. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you for a reading or to buy your book, is there a website they can find your information on?
Yes, this is a website. It's called Enlighten Your Life, and it's hyphen, the one that goes the little it's not a slash, the one that goes dash enlighten-yourlife.com, or you can Google me, Isreal Hurtado. It's Hurtado, my last name, and you can find me there. You know, the universe will connect us somehow.
Right, it will. Thank you so much, Isreal.
Thank you,
are
Zen.
awesome.
Thank you, Zen.
It's been so great working with Isreal, listening to Isreal talk about his work. I've been such a fan of him for all of these years, and it's so great that we've had a chance to feature him. Thank you, Isreal.
My question is, I'm getting ready to go meet my fiance's mother for the first time, and I would like to know what kind of a relationship I can expect and whether you think she'll like me and stuff like that.
Sean, I got to tell you, I just love this question. When I heard your question, I felt it in my heart when you asked it. Now, of course, I've already shuffled the cards. I've asked your guides to come in. I've asked my guides to come in. And we're going to see what they have to say about you meeting your fiance's mom. Okay, so first thing, don't be bringing any old baggage that you have from your past to this situation. It is brand new. You don't know her. She doesn't really know you yet. And so you're going to be creating this relationship from the start. As Dr. Phil loves to say, you're going to be training her on how it is appropriate to treat you. And that's going to be a good thing. It's going to give you a lot of power in the situation. It says, do meditate on this and know that there is a lot of possibility here. You can create this relationship any way you want. But you're going to do this by having a good, happy attitude and through knowledge. And that means like knowledge from a book, knowledge from people who are smarter than you. Now, I'm going to recommend a book to you that I think is absolutely fantastic. And that's a book by John Gottman, and it's called The Relationship Cure. And he's written a number of books. But in that book, he offers real tools that are absolutely fantastic that you'll be able to use consciously to create a wonderful relationship with your fiance's mother. Now, with that said, I have to say, in your past, it does show some hot buttons still present where you're concerned. And that means unresolved pain in you that's still there. Now, at this time, it's not appropriate for you to react to old woundings or pain that your fiance's mother might accidentally push. So if she does kind of push a button with you, just kind of take a breath and let it go. You're not meant to bring the pain of the past forward where the creation of this relationship is concerned. Now, knowledge, again, the most important factor here. It shows you as the Spider Woman in American Indian myth. That's the grand shaman sitting on the web of life, seeing the way through everything and all the answers. It says that this is your position, to be sitting calmly and acting through knowledge in how you go forward. Now, your outcome here is Father of Swords, and that's the divine right of kings. And that means you have the ability, you have the energy, you have the brains to create an amazing and fantastic relationship with your fiance's mom. And if you apply that knowledge that I've suggested, you're going to find it's so much easier than you realize. Now, do know that this is kind of like a trial run for the rest of your life. You're going to be using this experience and this knowledge throughout the rest of your life in how you create not only new friendships, but how you create business relationships also, which is very important. So Sean, I have to say, be calm, be the Father of Swords, be standing up strong, use your knowledge, your intellect, your strength, your happiness, and use this as a way to create a grand and fantastic, long-lasting relationship with your fiance's mother. I know you're going to do great. Good luck to you, Sean.
Well, Sean, what kind of relationship can you expect with your fiance's mother, the woman who's going to be your mother-in-law? Well, these kinds of questions are interesting, aren't they? Because we create our relationships moment by moment. So you have an opportunity to create a brand new relationship with this woman that is distinct from relationships with your mother, distinct from your relationship with any grandmothers, any other mothers or women in your life. You can look at this as a new opportunity to forge a new relationship with someone. And you have, I believe, all the tools that you need to do so. You might need to learn some things along the way. That's part of the process. But by listening deeply to her, by listening to who she is, rather than having an expectation of how she might show up in your life, you will learn new things about yourself and about your fiancé in the process of getting to know this woman. I think of the time when I met actually she's my stepmother, and I had a little bit of trepidation about it. And now, today, I call her my belle-mère, which is French for beautiful mother, because I don't like the word stepmother. In fact, mother-in-law sounds horrible to me, too. I would like a new way of talking to these women that come into our lives, these people that come into our lives through our loving relationships, because they do not have to be difficult necessarily. Not if we approach them with a loving and open heart, a willingness to learn and also to teach them, when appropriate, about how we want to be related to. So if she comes to you and starts interacting with you in a way that isn't working for you, do take a breath. Don't react quickly to it, but do then at some point sit down with her and talk with her about what didn't work in that circumstance. As two adults, about looking about how to relate to each other better. And if you just approach that the whole relationship is a practice that you're learning along the way, and that you'll make mistakes from time to time, but that's okay, that nothing has to be harmed in the process, then you two are going to get along just fine. You're forging a relationship with her, and she's going to be the grandmother, possibly, for your children in the coming years. So try to approach her from a sense of developing that you're going to learn to love this woman, and she's going to learn to love you, because that's what's, if you do that, that's going to forge such beauty in all of the relationships that you will have in this great family that is coming together with you and your fiancé.
You know, Sean's question really hits home for so many people, because all of us have had to, at one time or another, meet our beloved's parents and really kind of hope that they actually kind of like us.
God, yes. I remember meeting my ex-husband's now family, and how worried and nervous I was. It's such a difficult thing to do. But I know that when I gave his mother a big hug, and I told her that I was really looking forward to getting to know her, and had my heart open, that opened her heart, you know, and we developed this great relationship after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, my spouse's mother is actually from Taiwan, does not speak English. And so that made it just a little bit more challenging,
Yeah.
I have to tell you. But it was positive because you had to learn how to demonstrate love and affection without using words. And so it was really a great kind of challenge to communicate positive, loving energy when you could not use language.
I think that point is really what's at the heart of the whole thing, is can we approach all the relationships in our lives really from a sense of love and a sense of openness and a sense of curiosity, that when we do that, we can create anything within those relationships, and we can even fix things that were broken.
And ourselves along with it.
Yes.
It is such a good question, Sean. Good luck to you. I'm so excited about your marriage and this whole new road you're on. We'd love to hear about how everything works out for you. Send us an email, and you know we are wishing you and sending you the best. We want to answer your questions and address your topics. If you have questions you'd like answered or topics you'd like us to look into, we're easy to find. You can find me at joseph@questtarot.com or go to my website, questtarot.com.
And you can find me on my website at marcusthorndike.us or email me at marcus@marcusthorndike.us. In the Sacramento area, you can watch this program on Comcast Channel 17. See more at accesssacramento.org. In the San Francisco Bay Area, you can watch this program on Comcast Channels 23, 28, 29, and 33. And throughout the state of California, you can watch this program on AT&T Uverse Channel 99.
Additional channel listings can be found on betv.org and AT&T-services.net. You can also find us on iVault TV, Roku, and selected Comcast channels throughout the West Coast. We're easy to find on Facebook, Vimeo, and YouTube. Simply search Joseph Ernest Martin, Paranormal Insights, or Marcus Thorndike. And be sure to see our other series, The Magic Minute, where you'll learn easy-to-use everyday magic that makes your life better, exclusively on YouTube, where it only takes a moment to make magic. And when you do, please click like and subscribe. Please send us your questions and topics
So we can share our paranormal insights
and answers from beyond the ordinary.